Well, hello my friends. We've actually got ourselves a bit of an itinerary today. Your boy has been on some brain blast and shit. So we're gonna have a little bit of a sequence here. I'll share the story with you. So there's gonna be some different segments here. And today's essentially like a test run experiment. So we're gonna see where things go, but this will give you a little bit of a taste for what is coming and unfolding into the future. Because like I said, your boy's been on some big brain shit, I'm not gonna lie. So the way that I'm kind of breaking this up is with the different elements. You know, we're sitting in the medicine wheel right now, and this is the north, the realm of the north that I'm in, and I relate each one of these different elements and the directions to the different scenes of the story. So air is scene one, it's the rest, opening up possibility. And then scene two is fire, which would be the spring. North is the air, is the winter. Fire is the east, is the spring. Setting intention, setting the stage. Then there's the south, the water, the summer, nurturing your creations, allowing things to build. And then you've got the west, the earth, the fall, the harvest, the celebration of the work that has been done. And also the earthing, the grounding of your intention, kind of bringing everything together. Not sure how loud that lawnmower is, but this is what we got. So, oof, sorry y'all. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let us be able to find the peace amidst the seeming chaos, my friends. So the air element, the first element we're going to start with is going to be, I'm just going to look at my damn book. Let's see here. Like I was saying with the elements, I've been using that as a framework for breaking down these kind of bigger things. So for instance, what does this integration session look like? You know, what's the air element of this? What's the fire element of this? What is the water element? And what's the earth element? And then the same thing for the ceremony. It's the same idea, or really the service flow, whatever the idea is. I've been kind of using this framework to break that down into the different elements. So for the integration session, for what we're doing, a little bit of a backstory. And like I said, we might be a little all over the place today as I'm working these things out, which is why I do this here. So basically what's happening is everything is funneling into ceremony. All right, so depending on when you watch this, I don't know, we're having our first ceremony this weekend, which is really, the ceremony is the culmination of all of the different elements. So the story, the music, the lessons, the different exercises, the program, and then it all funnels into the life games. It's really like the life games is the actual playing out of this game of life, the expression of your genius. And then through these ceremonies and through the teachings, essentially that is a path to help you play the game of life at the highest level. So everything is truly funneling into the life games, but really the big culmination as far as like what optimal evolution is in this pathway of education is the ceremony, which again is this integration, this harmonization of all of these different elements. So we got our first one this weekend, and that in itself, the ceremonies are going to be the lessons, which are based off of the hero's journey, which is the Force for Nature story. So it's being told through the story. So instead of, you know, kind of doing these separate things here and here and here, now everything is just going into one thing. So again, as things progress here, you'll get a better feel of what that actually looks like. I'll have more information and all that cool stuff. But basically right now we've got these ceremonies that are upcoming this quarter, and the next quarter it'll essentially just be like, we've got ceremony, which is the lesson, which is the story, which is everything. And then we've got integration, which is something that I'm opening up to everybody, not just if you're on the Optimal Evolution team. But the integration is really where we connect on a weekly basis and integrate from the ceremony, because these different ceremonies, it's a framework based upon everything that I just said can be scalable. So, you know, we could do a typical weekly hour and a half long thing, or we could do a whole day thing, or we could do a whole weekend thing, or we could do a whole week retreat thing, and you utilize the same kind of framework. So as I'm speaking of these things, just know that it's not just like one kind of thing. It can be many kind of things within the same idea, within the same framework. All right, so these integration sessions are like these weekly check-ins that I'm opening up to everybody. And then I'll also be creating which again, by the time you watch this or whatever, or you might already be there, I'm also going to create, I call it a help hotline. Because for me, I wanted to have a way where, as I was asking myself these questions of like, truly, how can I create this optimized communication flow, this service flow? And for me, just this continual recognition that the serving is the reward, the giving is truly the receiving. And so truly creating this service-based organization where it truly is just unconditional giving. And so for me, structuring these, because I love systems, like when I feel things are just up in the air, and on the other side of that, I love spontaneity. And so the reason I love systems is because I love spontaneity, because the systems help anchor things in to open up the flow for the spontaneity. But as far as communication goes, that just felt like this one area that was still a little all over the place. I didn't have, it wasn't like clear guidelines to help facilitate the flow. There wasn't clear banks of the river. And for me, I don't like having separate things. It's just what I do. It's like I integrate shit together, and through the seeming complexity, there's more and more simplicity. Through the expansion is actually facilitating more efficiency within the system. So I like integrating things. So for me, it was, how do I create this communication flow that was integrating? When I say communication, I'm just like literally holding people accountable, being able to talk to people, reach out to people, have just these open lines of communication, and having different levels of what that looks like. And instead of creating it in this way, which is initially where, just kind of we're conditioned to go to, where I was like, well, I can, exchange whatever the fuck I wanted to word it, I can charge, whether money or services, I can charge more based off of how much more time I am spending. And then you see there that conditioning, that story of trading my time for money or whatever. And then I was like, well, that just didn't sit right. And then I was just kind of sitting with it more and was asking myself the question, what does this look like at a truly unconditional service level? And so what that turned into is there's still these different levels, but really they're based upon more so how much you are wanting to receive. Because it's like, essentially it's me giving as much as I can, but obviously not everybody wants to get all of this, which I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but not everybody wants all that. And so there's different levels, because I'm the type of person that, like, if I'm doing a program or taking a class or a course, like, I'm the dude that's sitting in the back of the class that doesn't look like he's really engaged much, but he's actually like doing the best in the damn class. And I don't really ask a lot of questions and things like that, but I'm applying it, and that's cool. Some people, that's what works. That's what works for me. And then the other end of the spectrum, some people are like, bro, I need that daily accountability. I need that daily, freaking handy or whatever you need, bro. And being able to have that as an opportunity as well. And so All that being said, everything's kind of funneling into the same shit. And so now with this integration, being that the integration will just be this weekly touch base relative to the ceremony, kind of the flow that I have for this is I want to start with music, and we're kind of just going to run through this today. I'm not going to do the whole shebang, or who knows, maybe once I get into it, it'll turn into whatever. But we're going to do basically there's a few different elements here. So we've got our air element, which is music / story. And we've got our fire element, which is the lesson, and then like the exercise review for the week. And then we've got our water element, which is just kind of open sharing flow. And this is where, you know, as a live integration, we can have other people come in and we can share our experiences and whatever challenges may have come up or whatever. And then the earth is, you know, where are we going? Action. And also maybe upcoming events, things like that. So the music is really just starting with a mantra. And what I've been doing is I've been taking the gene keys and I've been using those as a basis for writing these different songs and creating different beats and things like that. And when I do my daily transmissions, I use the gene keys as a basis for that. And so what I've been doing lately is connecting different gene keys with different episodes of the story. So episode 1 has a certain basket of gene keys that are related to lesson 1, which is expanding possibility. And the cool thing with the gene keys, by the way, it's like they're all fractal or holographic. So in a sense, it really doesn't matter which ones you associate, because you can use the power of logic to just make it fit in however you want, and that's the fun. But you know, I kind of work with my soul on these things. Okay, so the mantra for today really is very simple. What do you know? Is simplify, simplify, simplify. Yeah, you gotta simplify, simplify, simplify. Yeah, you gotta simplify, simplify, simplify. Yeah, you gotta simplify until you make it incomprehensible. So that is the mantra for the day. You gotta simplify, simplify, simplify. Okay, so that gene key, hopefully I can do this without messing this up. Gene key and this is for today, 23, number 23, which, if I remember correctly now, it is complexity, simplicity. So the shadow is complexity, the gift is simplicity, and then the city is quintessence. So as a general rule, embrace the shadow, express the gift, embody the city. So that's the gene key for this week. And so let me share with you the story now. So this is episode 5, scene 1, A New Horizon. What if your greatest potential is on the other side of your greatest fear? Here's a story about the time I rode my bike to the edge of the universe. What if I never went back, vanished without a trace? No memory to remember, all past is erased. These thoughts took up space as I raced through this place that I've come to know so well. Like the back of my hand, I could come to understand there are no limits to what my life could be, and yet I am scared. Do I dare take the call, risk it all, but what if I fall, or what if I don't go at all? Choosing not to choose is the hardest choice of all. I realized on that bike ride that I had a decision to make. I can't fake my way through life anymore. This is not my fate, but it is now or never. This cannot wait. For heaven's sake, I will go through hell. Deep is the water of the infinite well. Life gives to life, light beckons light. Day needs the night so it can shine so bright. Each side puts up a fight until love can unite. So I must go anywhere but here. Let go of all I hold so dear. Dive deeper, deeper still, into the fear that fears itself. I find myself again at the edge of the enchanted forest. No answers to be found, searching for silence in the sound. I witness as my right foot received the ground. All right, so that's the next story for this week. But the lesson, if you're, well, yeah, we are in week 5. Okay, so it does work out. So that's scene 1. Not exactly sure how that'll work out in the future, but it might just be they're kind of separate, but it's okay. But either way, we'll figure out that. The lesson now, so we're in lesson 5, which is take the call. And, you know, this is about taking the call, so it works. So obviously at this place, and, you know, we touched on this a lot on Monday, of you may notice things are shifting. You may notice that there's this additional tension in your life, or maybe a challenge, or maybe it's not even necessarily a problem, but maybe there's just pull. You feel something calling you. Maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe you know exactly what it is. And I quote Joseph Campbell often in this when he said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." As often as it is the thing that we are most afraid of, embrace the fear, express the gift. The embracing of the fear is what allows you to open up to the gift, to the potential of the gift. And once upon recognizing that, you've got to actually go and do it. You've got to actually go and take the call. And, you know, how often is it when we find ourselves in the most stressful situations that actual change is happening? You know, like the metamorphosis that needs to happen to transform into who you have the potential to be. You know, there's I'll probably butcher the story a little bit, but Richard Rudd, he refers to the story of the dragonfly, and how the dragonfly, it lives it's underwater its whole life. And then one day, without ever seeing or breathing the air, it rises up out of the water. And that's when it decides it's time to become a dragonfly. And it is actually the water in its body that helps to push and open up its wings and unfurl its tail to become the dragonfly. So, you know, a little bit of a gift there for you. So the lesson, maybe pull this up. Yeah, hold on, guys. Disorganized. So, lesson: the hero takes action in the face of adversity. Life is going to call upon you to take massive action in order to turn your dream into reality. Refusing to take action will only result in further discomfort. Okay? So the exercise, remember we did the ultimate vision, ultimate purpose, and code of conduct. So these are really just tying everything that we've done so far together. And after this, we have our life map. So we have the big picture of things. And so moving forward, now we are going to start to basically build the systems and put the systems into place to make it all real and connect it all together. As far as sharing goes, I mean, it's just me, so I can share stuff all day, but I kind of already did that. So that would be this next segment here, as we would open up to sharing. Anybody wants to share, whatever. And then lastly, so inspire to action. This is the earth element, just kind of bringing everything home. So, I mean, really just these ceremonies, they're coming up. I mean, and we're going to be starting these team workouts. So again, if anybody's on the team watching this, this is going to be something to look forward to, although it may be slightly inconvenient for some at first. So basically what I'm doing is, instead of just having these, you know, open gym times Monday through Friday, I'm going to do actual classes going through the workout. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6 to 7. And again, I call this just a team workout. And so this is where I will literally, you know, or whether it's me or one of our other coaches, we will like lead you through the process, like a class, and you'll be going through the program. So it's going to be more structured in that end, and at the same time, for those that don't feel like they need that, and you're fine with just coming whenever you want, and you know you feel comfortable enough to just do what you got to do, then you can just go in and you've got 24/7 access to the gym. So again, these things aren't happening immediately, but relatively soon it's going to start rolling out like that. Because again, I'm coming from this place of I want to be able to serve you and myself, which is serving you, to the highest level possible. So I want things to be as valuable as possible, and as effective as possible, and as efficient as possible for everybody. So that's what, you know, all this stuff is being built around. And with that being said, it also opens up space to be able to create more resources and templates and other educational material and all kinds of other stuff to really help to add more and more to what you have the potential to receive. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And by the way too, all of this stuff is, you know, like I'm literally building it all to not require money. But at the same time, as we're getting everything built up and putting these systems into place, you know, it does help out to have that, you know, different streams coming in from different places. But basically what it's, you know, what we're doing with that is everything just, it's like church in a sense, honestly. It's everything's donation, and it's all going back into the land, which is ultimately going back into you, because I'm building this I want to feed the whole damn community and take care of everybody. And so it's going right back to you, so that can just be like a one-off thing or whatever. And again, it doesn't even have to be money. It could be fucking, I don't care. Just like, you know, we can have a service or some kind of, you know, exchange. But again, it doesn't need to be that. It's just, I'm giving this freely because this is what the fuck I love to do. But I do want to open the door if you feel called to support in any number of ways. The door is wide open. And you can also do just the Seeker membership, which is just like a monthly thing, which then opens up the packages, all of our care packages, which still aren't being, you know, they're still got to be built out. A lot of these things are still in the works, but essentially we'll have these care packages that are filled with different resources and supplemental things from different partners, you know, anything from supplements to, you know, books and courses to apparel to gift cards to whatever. But there's just kind of that be like baskets of different things that could be helpful. So that's what you'll, in a profit share with the Seeker membership. And then one last thing is I'm opening up, maybe I mentioned this, I don't remember, help hotline. Okay. So I'm going to be opening up some space each week, and it's going to be just first come, first serve, but it'll be an opportunity to just have like a one-on-one call. You know, I'm still working on exactly what I'll call it and how I advertise it, but essentially it's a one-on-one call, or we can, you know, dive deeper into maybe some things that you're going through or would like some guidance on, or just, you know, need somebody to listen. Like literally for me, it's coming from this place of service, of just, let me add as much value as I can up front. And not even for the sake of adding value. It's just like, this is just who I feel called to be, okay? And I just feel called to show up in this way. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And so I'm gonna open up that space. So be on the lookout for that if that's something you're called to. If not, you know, you can passively engage in all this stuff. And that's what I was saying with these different levels. You know, level 1 is kind of you just passively engage, whatever. Level 2 is just joining in on these weekly integration lessons or integration sessions, and then scheduling a time on the help hotline. And then number 3 is joining our accountability teams. We'll have daily huddles. And then number 4, level 4 is really kind of a really more intimate Divine 9 contract, where we get really clear on, you know, what does the regular engagement look like, and we get clear on, you know, what is our intention, what is the purpose, what is the ultimate result, if we had to put something tangible to it, you know, and what is that key process that is continuing to help us nurture and realize the intention there. Okay, so that's kind of like the deepest level. And again, you know, that's a giving and receiving relationship. So that's why it's also accountability, because if we are going to have that level of accountability, then we are agreeing to hold each other to that level of accountability, and it's something that we both agree upon. Okay, so yeah, that's where everything is at. Let me know. I mean, if you have any questions, go to the help hotline, motherfuckers. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. See y'all real soon. Blessings.